Hello and welcome. This is Business Now, reaching live from iBrandTV News Studio in Lagos, Nigeria. Coming up now. The International Monetary Fund raises its forecast on Nigeria's output growth to 2.7%. After 3 months since its launch, Africa's first digital currency E-Naira records less than 10% in P2P transactions. Inflation for Nairobi's rich families hit a 23-month high. World stocks edge up, dollar goes flat ahead of the outcome of the Federal Reserve's policy. Thanks for joining us, and here are business stories making the headlines at this hour. I am Perpetua Fasami Peter. And now the news in detail. We begin with the International Monetary Fund's forecast, which states Nigeria's output growth has increased to 2.7%. This is a departure from 2.6% projected in October. The new projection is contained in its January World Economic Outlook update. The IMF kept the 2021 full-year gross domestic product (GDP) unchanged at 3%. According to the report, Nigeria is expected to see an average growth of 2.7% through 2023 amid concerns over sluggish COVID-19 vaccination, inflation pressure, and limited fiscal space. The IMF is rather more bullish on Nigeria's growth prospects than the World Bank, which maintains an estimated growth rate of 2.5% for the world. The Bretton Woods institution's forecasts are more conservative than the 4.2% growth estimate captured in the 2022 budget. The Central Bank of Nigeria has retained the monetary policy rate at 11.5%. The CBN Governor, Godwin Emefiele, disclosed this during a briefing after the first Monetary Policy Committee meeting for the year held in Abuja on Tuesday. Other parameters left unchanged are the cash reserve ratio and liquidity ratio at 27.5% and 30% respectively. Announcing the committee's decision, Emefiele said, quote, "After a careful balancing of the benefits and the downside risks of the policy options, the MPC decided to hold all parameters constant, believing that a hold stance will enable the continuous permeation of current policy measures in supporting the recorded growth recovery and further boost production and productivity, which will ultimately rein in inflation in the short to medium term." Following the decision of the CBN's Monetary Policy Committee to maintain status quo on the monetary parameters at its last meeting, Leke Ebenezer, an economist, has commended the decision, stating that in order to maintain price stability and economic growth, the parameters had to be retained. Ebenezer stated this earlier on iBrandTV's Business Breakfast.
Every economy has a goal that you pursue, and the four basic macroeconomic goals are price stability, economic growth, balance of payment, and even distribution. So the FPC, having studied all the parameters, decided there are two things to be pursued at this time, which is price stability and economic growth. And for that to be achieved, those key parameters have to be kept at that rate they are, because if any change is done to them to achieve price stability and economic growth might be difficult, given the factors that other factors that cannot be controlled that is affecting the economy.
Some United Kingdom-bound passengers from Nigeria via Turkish Airlines have been stranded at Istanbul airport, protesting over what they described as poor service delivery after they have been delayed for over 24 hours due to heavy snowfall at Istanbul airport, Turkey. The passengers had protested in the airport's departure hall, demanding accommodation and quality customer service delivery from the management of Turkish Airlines. According to some of them who left Nigeria via the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport on Tuesday around 7:15 a.m., several passengers from other African countries that got to Istanbul hours before them were still stranded, protesting over what they described as poor service delivery on the part of the airline. After 3 months since its launch, Africa's first digital currency, E-Naira, has recorded less than 10% in P2P transactions. This was disclosed by the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, at the first MPC meeting of 2022. An increase in P2P transactions is indicative of increased use of the E-Naira among citizens for their daily transactions. However, the CBN governor disclosed that the person-to-bank and bank-to-person constitute 90% E-Naira transactions. This shows that users of E-Naira transact more with banks than with each other. As P2P, that is person-to-person or person-to-merchant, P2M accounted for the remaining 10% of the E-Naira transactions. The federal government says working with cooperatives enables the federal government to implement its social investment and intervention programs and ensure that a large number of people have access to the programs. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo made this known after a meeting with the president of the Cooperative Federation of Nigeria, CFN, Tajuddin Oriyomi Ayola. The vice president said that one of its schemes is focusing on family homes, which the federal government plans to build 300,000 social housing. Osinbajo noted that the rationale for cooperatives, even in the 1950s, remains relevant today, adding that cooperatives in the western region and even across the country became important pillars in the economic development of the country. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has directed all security institutions to immediately leverage 5G technology to enhance national security when deployed. Buhari disclosed this at the launch of the National Policy on 5G for Nigeria's digital economy, saying the federal government will take full advantage of the opportunities provided by 5G for the nation's economy, security and well-being. The special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, revealed this in a statement. According to him, the president allayed fears over health safety of 5G, affirming that such issues have been effectively addressed in developing a policy that suits the country. Kano State Agro-Pastoral Development Project has budgeted 10.9 billion naira for the 2022 fiscal year, the state project coordinator Malam Ibrahim Muhammad has said. The financial plan was approved on Monday during a meeting of the Project Steering Committee, chaired by the State Deputy Governor and Commissioner for Agriculture, Dr. Nasiru Gawuna. According to Muhammad, about 9% of the total money was budgeted for crops and legumes, value chain interventions for smallholder farmers across the state to be conducted with technical cooperation of Sasakawa Africa and CNADA. The federal government is targeting $40 billion private capital investments in digital infrastructure and facilitating the formation of up to $1 billion in private equity. The government estimates public investment of 150 billion naira, according to National Development Plan 2021 to 2025. According to the document, the 2017 to 2020 period recorded increased investment in infrastructure development, higher internet penetration, and technology startups. The contribution to GDP, that's the gross domestic product, from these telecommunication and ISP companies increased from 1.0% in 2003 to 11% in 2020. Still to come, Bill Gates' fourth richest billionaire loses $1 billion. More stories coming after the short break.
Dry Cleaners Limited, professional dry cleaners, best in dry cleaning and laundry services that meets the needs of our consumers. Yeah, Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Yeah. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Yeah, for clean wash and quick delivery. Yeah, Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. For clean wash and quick delivery.
Swift Dry Cleaners. Clean wash, quick delivery.
Glad to know you're still with us, and now African stories. Inflation for Nairobi's rich families hit a 23-month high at the end of last year, marking the sharpest rise among all income groups in the city on more expensive fuel and electricity. Fresh data from the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics shows that inflation for the city's upper-income households stood at 4.87% in November, the highest mark since December 2019, when it was recorded at 5.33%. This is significantly high growth since the inflation level on upper-income households in Nairobi stood at 2.28% in November 2020 and 2.91% at the start of 2021. Uganda wants to curb its borrowing and boost exports in sectors such as meat and dairy as the East African country lifts restrictions triggered by the coronavirus pandemic. President Yoweri Museveni made this known to newsmen. Uganda's trade push follows several years of reduced Chinese lending to the continent and has programs designed to offer relief to indebted countries as they recover from COVID-19-induced slumps start to expire. Museveni emphasized that Uganda can do much better without borrowing, especially borrowing for budget support, balance of payment support. World stocks edged up and the dollar was flat ahead of the outcome of the Federal Reserve's policy meeting on Wednesday, while oil rose towards recent 7-year highs on tension between Russia and Ukraine. The Fed is due to update its policy plan at 1900 GMT after a 2-day meeting. A first rate increase is seen in March, and markets are already pricing in 3 more quarter-point increases by year-end. U.S. stocks posted their worst week since 2020. The dollar index was steady at 96.08 against a basket of major currencies, and the euro was at $1.1286, near one-month low set on Tuesday. The world's 4th wealthiest man, Bill Gates, saw his fortune sink by about $1 billion after Microsoft reported better than expected earnings and revenue for its fiscal second quarter. Based on data received from Bloomberg, the 65-year-old billionaire holds $55.3 billion in a bank and is currently valued at $127 billion. Consequently, the 66-year-old American-born billionaire's net worth can buy 68.4 million troy ounces of gold or 1.44 billion barrels of crude oil. And up next is entertainment business. Netflix stock tanked 22% on Friday after the Los Gatos streamer reported disappointing subscriber numbers and projections, wiping out almost $50 billion in market value. It continued to slide on Monday, dropping $10.35 or about 3% to $387.15. This, of course, happened after the company said it expects to add just 2.5 million subscribers worldwide in the first quarter in the year 2022. During the fourth quarter, Netflix grew by 8.28 million subscribers, slightly shy of the 8.4 million analysts had expected. Netflix and other streaming services enjoyed a big boost in sign-ups during the pandemic, and that effect was bound to wear off at some point, even with the recent COVID-19 surge. Still, competition is too high for Netflix to cut spending. Raising prices too quickly carries the risk of subscriber churn. Netflix recently hiked the monthly fee of its standard plan by $1.50 to $15.49. Advocates in Ontario's live music industry say upcoming shows, big and small, hang in the balance as they face provincial restrictions that are tougher on concert and live theatre venues than other entertainment spaces. Many in the province's live music and performing arts industry say they are being treated unfairly as new rules that go into effect on January. 31 hold many of their values at 50% capacity until at least mid-March. Meanwhile, other entertainment spaces including cinemas, casinos and restaurants have been told to anticipate being allowed to host a full house by February 21. The outcry came as Billie Eilish became the latest major artist to postpone shows planned for Toronto and Montreal, citing local guidelines and an abundance of caution. Erin Benjamin, head of the Canadian Live Music Association, says live venues and their owners are confused by provincial policies that deem it safe to eat maskless in a packed restaurant, but less safe to gather mask for a concert. Coming up next is sports business after this short break.
Swift Dry Cleaners Limited, professional dry cleaners, best in dry cleaning and laundry services, and meets the needs of our consumers. Yeah, Swift Dry Cleaners Limited, Swift Dry Cleaners Limited, Swift Dry Cleaners Limited, yeah, Swift Dry Cleaners Limited, yeah, for clean wash and quick delivery, yeah. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited, Swift Dry Cleaners Limited, Swift Dry Cleaners Limited, for clean wash and quick delivery.
Swift Dry Cleaners. Clean wash, quick delivery.
Most people don't understand the magic of a perfect skin, the allure of a well-pampered skin. We bounce from skincare products to skincare products, from spa to spa. Looking for that ideal solution. I found the solution. And it's Blemiville Skincare and Spa. My name is Neil, and I'm proud to be a part of the Blemiville family.
Italian champions Inter Milan have launched a 415 million euros bond issue in order to help pay off their debts. Inter said that the institutional offering will help refinance the club's revolving credit facility, fund secured accounts, and pay related fees and expenses. The move sees the Serie A club replace the two previously existing bonds worth a combined 375 million euros with a single offering plus a 50 million euros line of credit. The bond has been rated at B+ grade by Fitch, while interest rate on the debt has increased from 4.8% to a flat 6%. Inter Milan expects to receive a combined 119 million euros until 2025 from their current primary sponsorship deals with blockchain platform Socials.com, technology company Lenovo, and non-fungible token developer Zaitara. And still talking sports business, the Argentine Football Association has unveiled a new 5-year partnership with Binance, which will see the cryptocurrency exchange platform become the global main sponsor of Argentina's national soccer teams. However, the wide-range agreement, which also includes naming rights to the Argentine top flight and designation as the official fan token of the AFA, has caused a rupture with rival blockchain firm Chiliz. The AFA signed a naming rights deal with Chiliz last year that saw the Primera Division named Torneo Socials.com for the 2021-2022 season and included the launch of a fan token on the Socials platform. Following the announcement of the AFA's deal with Binance, Chiliz has said it will take legal action against the Argentinian national soccer body for a flagrant breach of contract. According to Chiliz, the legal action is to protect the rights of the fans who acquire the Argentine fan tokens. Meanwhile, the deal is Binance's first global partnership with a national soccer body, and the partnership will see the cryptocurrency company launch a new non-fungible token for Argentina and secures Binance prime branding inventory across digital and physical national team assets. And finally, on sports business at this hour, Williams Advanced Engineering, a technology-focused spin-off Williams Racing Formula One team, has been acquired by Australian iron ore producer Fortescue Metals Group for $220 million. The deal sees the Formula One team relinquish their remaining stake in WAE, having sold a majority stake to EMK Capital in 2019. Once the deal closes in late March, FMG will own 100% of the shares in WAE. WAE, whose operations includes the production of high-end batteries, will be vertically integrated into FMG's green energy business and will be managed via the specialist Fortescue Future Industries Sustainable Technology Division. It is hoped that the acquisition of WAE's battery technology will help FMG meet its goal of reaching net zero carbon emissions by 2030 via improvements to its freight trains, hauling trucks, and other industrial equipment. And that's it on Sports Business. I'm Samson Oleide.
It's a wrap on business now. Thanks for watching. I am Perpetua Fasami Peter. To enjoy the rest of the day. Bye for now.